Today we will be learning a new method of solving the string efficiency math. Previously, we applied the KCL at different nodes and find some formulas, right? Like V2, V3, V4, all in terms of K. Today, we will be doing the exact same thing, but with a different method, with a very simple method actually. In this method, you can actually solve 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, no matter how many string you have, doesn't matter. Okay. Now here,
you were not finished last class.
yeah.
You were not finished. Method of improving string efficiency.
I didn't get your point. What? Say again.
The method of improving string efficiency.
Yeah, in the last class we have done up to this, right? I told you that in the next class we will be doing from 8.6. Okay? Okay. Now the 8.6, they said a string of 4 insulators has a self-capacitance equal to 10 times to the pin to earth capacitance. That means the self is 10 times the pin to earth, that means shunt. Pin to earth means shunt, right? That means your C1, no, your C is actually 10 times the C1. What is your K then? So from here we can say, okay, C is equal to 1 over 10 C. So this is your K actually. Okay. Then they said find the voltage distribution across the various unit expressed as percentage. We have to find it at percentage because see, in this question there is no voltage given. So if there is no voltage given, so you have to given with V1 or you have to given with V. Otherwise you cannot find out. There, they didn't say, they didn't give any voltages, right? They only say find out as a percentage. That's okay, because if you know the percentage and if you know the full voltage, you can find out later. Okay. And string efficiency. So when the number of insulator string exceeds 3, the nodal equation method become laborious. Laborious means you have to do it again, and it is a very lengthy process. Under such circumstances, there is a simple method of solve the problem. In this method, that means this method actually, the shunt capacitance C1 and the self capacitance C of each insulator are represented by their equivalent resistances or reactances, as it is the only ratio of capacitance which determines the voltage distribution. Therefore, the problem can be simplified by assigning unity value, that means XC, assuming X is equal to 1 ohm. And the ratio of C by C10 is equal to 10. So we have X is equal to 1 ohm, C by C1 is equal to 10 ohm. Let me see this one. Your C is equal to 10 times the C1, right? That means, what about 1 over XC? So what is your XC? XC will be opposite. 1 over 10 XC1. Why? Because your XC formula is 1 divided by 2 pi FC. So what about your XC1? XC1 formula will be 1 divided by 2 pi F C1. Understood? So that is the formula. Now here 2 pi F is common, so we are going to delete all those. 1 over C, 1 over C1. Now, if this one is 10 times this one, so if this is 1 ohm, not X1, XC. X is equal to 1 over C, right? So if this is 1 ohm, look at this. 1 ohm. 1 over C is equal to 1 ohm. So what about 1 XC1? How much is it will be? See, This 10 will go up, or this 1 by 10 will go there. This is 1 by C, actually 1 ohm. So I can write 1 ohm. So 10 into 1 ohm is equal to 10 ohm. So 1 by XC1, that means this one, is actually your 10 ohm. Okay. So that means if XC is equal to 1 ohm, so your XC1 is equal to 10 ohm. Okay. That means if this is 1 ohm, this will be 10 ohm. So you do not have to actually prove it, because you know, remember, more capacitance means less reactance, less capacitance means more reactance. So here, this capacitor is bigger. That's why the reactance is smaller. This capacitance is smaller. That means the reactance is bigger. Okay. Now, what we will do, we will actually define a model. So this is 1 ohm, 1 ohm, 1 ohm, 1 ohm. So this is 10 ohm, 10 ohm, 10 ohm. Okay. So let's say in this 1 ohm, we have 1 ampere of current. Let's assume in this 1 ohm, we have 1 ampere of current. So what is the voltage here? How much volt you will have here? V1, right? This V1 will be 1 volt. How do I know that? Because 1 ohm, 1 ampere, if you multiply it, you have 1 volt. So how much volt you have in this 10 ohm? You have 1 volt as well. So how much current you will have here? 0.1 ampere. Why? Because 1 volt, 10 ohm, if you divide, 0.1 ampere. Okay? Now, if it is 0.1 ampere, if it is 1 ampere, so how much is this? 1.1 ampere. So how much volt you will have here? 1.1 volt. Okay. So how much volt you have here in this 2 point? So 1.1 volt plus 1 volt. Okay. Okay. Let's write it and make you understand. See. Let's say this is the tower. Okay. Now let's assume, okay, this is 1 ohm, 1 ohm, 1 ohm, 1 ohm. This is 10 ohm, 10 ohm, 10 ohm, 10 ohm. Okay. Now let's assume we have 1 ampere of current here. If you have 1 ampere of current, how much volt you have here? How much volt? 1 ampere into 1 ohm, you have 1 volt, right? So how much volt you have in between this point? So in between this point and in between this point, you have the same voltage, right? We know it. These voltage and these voltage are same. So if this is 1 volt, this should be 1 volt as well. If this is 1 volt and this is 10 ohm, what is the current? 1 volt divided by 10. That means 0.1 ampere, right? Agree? 0.1 ampere. Let's see Here you have 1 ampere, here you have 0.1 ampere. So how much current you have here? So this should be added, right? So 1.1 ampere. So what is the voltage here? What is the voltage in between these two points? 1 ohm, 1.1 ampere. If you multiply it, 1.1 volt. Okay. Now what is the voltage between this point and this point? How much? This is the voltage between this point and this point. That means this is the voltage between this point and this point, because this point and this point, they are actually same, right? So your voltage will be these two. So 1 volt plus 1.1 volt, that means 2.1 volt. 2.1 volt is the voltage, 10 is the reactance. So what is the current? So 2.1 divided by 10. So 0.21 ampere. Now what is the current here? Here the current is 1.1. Here the current is 0.21. So how much current you have here?
$1.31.
Exactly. So 1.31 ampere, right? So if that is the current, so how much volt you will have here?
1.31.
Yeah, exactly. 1.31 volt. Again, come here. So what is the current here? At first, find out what is the voltage in between these 2 points.
1.3. No.
1.31
4.
plus 1.1 plus 1. So how much?
Yes.
So 3.41, right? 3.41.
Yeah. Yes.
So 3.41 divided by 10. 0.341 ampere, right?
Yes, sir.
So if you see what is the current here, how much current you will have here? 1.31 plus 0.341. So 1.651, right? Ampere. Understood?
Yes.
Okay. Now how
Yes.
much volt you will have here? 1.651 into 1.
1.651.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. 1.651, right? Volt. Understood?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now I want to do one more calculation. You see here, this is my V1, this is my V2, this is my V3, this is my V4, right? So what is the total V? V is V1, V2, V3, V4. If you add all of those, what will be your result? 1 point, okay, let's say 1 volt, 1.1 volt, 1.31 volt plus 1.651 volt. Okay. So if you add all of this, that is your total V. Total V. So how much?
4.06.
Huh?
4.061.
1, 2, 3, 4. 5 point. 0.6, 3, 10. Okay. Yes, 5. 1 plus 1.1 plus 1.31.
5.061, sir.
Yeah, 651. So 5.061. 5.0614. That is the total voltage, right? Now, what is your V1? The percentage of V1. Percentage. They said find in percentage. So percentage should be 1 divided by total.
Okay.
Okay? 1 divided by total. So 1 divided by 5.061 into 100%. 19.76. right?
Yes.
What about V2? V2 will be 1.1, 5.06 into 100%. So how much? 1.1, 21.73. V3 will be 1.31 divided by 5.06 into 100%. Your result will be 25.88. Okay. What about V4? %. 651, 32.62. Okay, that is the percentage, right? Now we need to find out the what is that string efficiency. So how can we find that? How can we find that? See, like this. String efficiency. Okay, what is the color? String efficiency should be V n into Vn into 100%, right? What is n? N is actually number of disk, right? What is n? N is equal to number of disk. What is Vn? Vn is the last. What is Vn? Vn is the last disk. Okay. So what is V? V is actually your 5.06 total voltage. What is N? N is equal to 4. What is Vn? Vn is equal to last voltage. That means 1.651 into 100%. So 5.061, actually there is a 1 divided by 4 into 1.651 into 100%. So 76.63, that means 64. Okay, that is the string efficiency 76.63. Understand, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's do another one. And see, their voltage was 5.06 and the ratio was like this. And the efficiency was 76.6 volt. Now here, they said a string of 5 insulators is connected across a 10 kilovolt line. Now the voltage is given. If the capacitance of each disk to earth is 0.1 of the capacitance of the insulator, that means C1 is equal to 0.1 C, right? So that is the value of K, 10 times. So if it is 1, it should be 10. 10 times, right? So if this is 1, this should be 10. In case of capacitance, this one is 10 times. In case of resistance, this one is 10 times, right? Remember, reactance and capacitance, they are opposite. So 0.1 means this one is 0.1, this one is 10. 10 times actually. Okay, calculate each distributor of the voltage, insulator, disk, and string efficiency. Now the additional one thing is you have 5 insulators and you have a voltage given. So at first find the percentages, okay? then find the voltage, no problem. So how do I do that? Again, this is the tower, okay? Now I'm going to draw the insulators. One, two, three, 4, 5. Okay. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this was the actually your diagram. Now let's say this is 1 ohm. So this is 10 ohm. Again 1 ohm, 1 ohm, 1 ohm, 1 ohm. Right? Again this is 10. 10. You have to write ohm, right? 10 and 10. Now let's say you have 1 ampere of current. So how much volt you will have here? 1 volt, right? So how much volt you have here? 1 volt, same voltage, right? This one. Now how much current you will have here? 1.1 ampere, right? Because 1 volt divided by 10 ohm. Oh, no, I made a mistake. 1 volt divided by 10, that means it will be what? 0.1 ampere, right? So 1 ampere and 0.1 ampere. How much current you will have here? 1.1 ampere.
1.1.
So how much volt you will have here? 1.1 volt. How? How? Because 1 ohm into 1.1 ampere is equal to 1.1 volt. So how much volt you have in the between this point? How much volt? This volt plus this volt, right? 2.1 ampere. So your current will be 0.21 ampere, okay? So how much current you will have here? 0.21 into 1.1, 1.31 ampere. So how much volt you will have here? 1.31 volt, right? So how much current you will have here? In between this point, how much volt you have? This plus this plus this. So 1 plus 1.1 plus, okay, 3.41, right? So your current will be 0.3.41 ampere. So how much current you will have here? This current plus this current, right? 1.651 ampere. Okay. So how much volt you will have here? 1.651 volt, right? So how much current you will have here? What is the voltage? So this plus this plus this plus this, 5.061, right? So your current should be 0.5061, right? 0.61 ampere. So how much current you will have here? This plus this, right?
2.15.
651 plus 5061. 2.15 or 2.16. 2.157 ampere. So how much volt do you have here? 2.157 volt, right? That's it. We do not have to find out this one because our voltages are okay. We got our voltages. So this is our V1, V2, V3, V4, and how much? V5. So our V is actually all added. 1 plus these plus these plus these plus these. So let's add 1 plus 1.1 plus 1.31 plus 1.
7.27.
Okay, 651 plus 2.157. 7.218. 7.218. That is the highest value. That means that is the V. Now find out the percentage. So your V1 percentage would be how much? 1 volt divided by 7.218 volt into 100%.
37.80.
Okay, let's see. 1 divided by 7.218 into 100. Yeah, 13.85. What about your V2 percentage? 1.1, right? 15.24. Approximately.
1.27.
The V2 will be 1.31, 18.15. What about your V4? V4 will be 1.651 divided by 2.1, 7.218. Percentage will be 22.87. Percentage. Now your V5, the final one. So how much? 2.157. 29.88. Okay, that is the percentage actually, right? Now we have to find out the voltages, right? All the voltages we have to find out. So how to find out the voltages? We already know the percentages, right? If we know the percentages, we know the voltage. Now our line to line voltage is given. Our line voltage is given. Our line voltage was 100 kilovolt, right? So how much our V? Our V will be 100 kilovolt divided by root 3. Remember, that is line volt is given, right? So 100 divided by root 3, our value is 57.735. That is your V. If that is your V, so how much your V1? Percentage, right? You have the percentage, right? If you have the percentage, you just write the percentage and multiply. That's it. 13.85% off. Off means multiplication, right? What would be the result? 57.735 into 0.1385. 7.996. Let's say 8 kilovolt. 7.996 means actually 8 kilovolt. So what is your V2? Your V2 will be 15%. 15.224% is equal to into 57. Your answer is 8.798. That means 8.8. Okay. V3 will be 18.15% of these, right? $10.4748 actually. Kilovolt. What about your V4? V4 will be this percentage of this. So 2287% into 57.735. Remember, when you multiply a percentage, you have to divide by 100, right?
Yes.
Okay. So your answer is 13.203. Okay, let's write 2. 13.2. What about your V5? Your V5 will be 29%, 29.88%. 17.25. Okay, so that is the answer. Now let's find out the efficiency. The efficiency formula is equal to V into N into Vn. So your V is this one. Your N is equal to 5 because you have 5 insulators. Your Vn is equal to this one. That means V5 actually, right? Into 100%. Your result is how much? 57.735 divided by 5 into 17.25 into 100%. So 66.93 or 94. Okay, so that is the string efficiency you got. Understand my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, let's see whether we got the same value or not.
Hello. Hello, sir.
Okay, wait. See our percentage. V1 was 7.96, right? We got 8. That's okay, no problem. V2 we got 8.8. They got 8.77. No problem. Okay, your V3 we got 10.48. They got 10.5. Okay. They got 13.16. We got 13.2. That's okay, no problem. And last one, they got 17.3. We got 17.25. No problem. We got it. The efficiency, they got 66.7%. We got 66.94%. That's okay. No problem. Okay? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I understand.
Okay. That was that was the math. Now we will go back and see the methods of efficiency improving. So now, as you can see, this is not a very good efficiency. This is really bad. So we will go and try to improve it. Okay, how? Let's see. There are three methods. I told you in the first or second class, that means the first class of or second class of the string efficiency, there is one method by which you can improve the efficiency, that is by increasing the value, by decreasing the value of k, right? No, not decreasing, by increasing the value.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
how to do that? By using longer cross sum, right? So if you
Yes.
increase by using longer cross sum, so if you increase the cross sum, what will happen? The value of string efficiency depends upon the value of k, the ratio of shunt capacitance to the mutual capacitance. That means these capacitance should be smaller. How to make it smaller? By using longer cross sum. So if you use the longer cross sum, that means the distance between the insulator pin and the earth become increased, right? If this thing increased, what will happen? The value of k will increase. That means that the capacitance decreases, the value of k increases. By doing that, you can increase what? You can increase the efficiency. That is one method. Now this method is problematic. Why? Because the limitation of cost and strength of tower do not allow the use of very longer cross sum. Because if you use a very long cross sum, it can break. It can break, right? So that is the problem with the strength. And if you use a very big cross sum, that means you need to use a heavier tower. You need to use more steel. That will increase the cost. So for these two problems, you cannot use a very long cross sum. There is a limitation of that. So in practice, k is equal to 0.1 is the limit can be achieved by the method. Okay, you can do up to 0.1. Now next one is by grading the insulator. This is a very important method of increasing the efficiency. That is the grading of insulator. Grading of insulator means different types or different sizes of insulators will be used. Different sizes. Here you can see all of them are the same size, all of them, right? What you can do, you can increase the size. So what you can do, see, these insulator will be smaller. This disc will be a bit bigger. This disc will be much bigger. And this one will be the biggest. Okay, so small, a bit bigger, and the most bigger, right? Or biggest, I should say. The biggest one, this one. This is called grading. What you are doing actually? You are actually increasing the capacitance. If you are increasing the capacitance, so you go back and see the method we have done. See the method we have done just few minutes ago. Here, what is happening here? Here the what is that? The reactance was 1 ohm, 1 ohm, 1 ohm, and 1 ohm, right? If the reactances are like that, what we can do? We can remove or we can decrease the ohm, right? Let's say this is 1 ohm, this is 0.9, this is 0.8, this is 0.7. So what will happen to your voltages? These voltages will remain 1 volt. This will decrease because if previously it was 1 ohm, now it is 0.9. So it will decrease. Okay, this will decrease, right? It is 0.8 ohm, so this will decrease as well. This is 0.7 ohm, so this will decrease as well, right? So after that, you will see all of them are equal or close to equal. 1 volt, 1 volt, 1 volt, 1 volt. Because here it was 1 ohm and the current one 1.65. If you multiply this, it become 1.65 volt. But if this is 0.7 and if it is 1.65, if you multiply, how much volt you will get? 0.7 into 1.65. You will get 1.15. Okay, 1.15 volt. So understand, so we are actually trying to make the voltages equal, so how to do that? Grade the capacitance, make them bigger so that the ohm becomes smaller. Understand my point? So that is called grading the capacitance. So this is a very effective method, but there is a problem of this method. The problem is, now before grading, you just have to make one size of the disk, right? One size. Understand my point? You just have to make only one sized disk before grading. Now you have to make different size of disk. One is small, one is medium, one is large, one is extra large, something like that. So that is a problem. You have to make different types of what? Different types of size of insulators, disk. So that is a problem. So that's why this method is expensive, because you have to make different sizes of disk. So in practice, what is done? In practice, what they done? They actually keep all the disks same. This one, they make it bigger. Okay. All of them are same. This one, they make it bigger. What? Why? Because that is the disk nearest to the conductor. Okay. And that is the disk that is in your efficiency. So V divided by 4 into V, right? So that is in your efficiency formula. So if you can make it smaller, your efficiency goes up. So that's why you are making the last what is that? You are making the last disk bigger. If you make your last disk bigger, so that will keep less voltage and your efficiency goes up. By this method, you are only making two sizes of disk, one size, another size. So a small size, big size, that's it. But if you grade sequentially, you have to make small, medium, large, extra large, extra large, something like that. So by making different sizes of insulators are expensive. That's why you will only make two sizes of insulators. So most of them will be small, few of them will be big, only like that. So that is called by grading the insulators. Now the next method will be by using the guard ring. Guard ring. What is a guard ring? Guard ring is actually a opposite tower. So this is a guard ring. Here, what happens? Here you have a tower, right? You have a tower. So what happened? This point and this point, they are having a what? They are having a voltage difference. That's why a capacitance is formed, a current is going, right? But what if this current was, what should I say? This current was fulfilled by another current from the opposite side. That time, this current would have been equal to that current. So this current could have been uninterrupted. So what do I mean by that? See. Here, one current is going, that current reduces. So a reduced current is going. That current reduces again. So another reduced current is going. That current reduces again. So the lowest amount of current is flowing here. What if there was no reduction of current? So what would happen? Same current would flow and same voltage drop would have been there. Same voltage drop. So your reduction of current is going on, right? So your current is reduced here. So what if you give an extra current here? So what will happen? Some current is reducing, some current is adding, right? Some current is adding. When some current is adding up, so this loss is gone, right? This loss is, I should say, profit. I should say what? I should
And
say,
increase the current too.
yeah, the increase. We are actually increasing the current. Again, this current is reducing. We are giving another current, so that this current, what? This current is filled up, right? The loss filled up. Again, after coming here, some current will go, will lost because of the shunt, and we will supply some more current. So this current will filled up. When all the currents are filling up, your voltage will remain same. Because all the current remains same, because we are filling up the losses. Understand? We are filling up the losses. That's why current are becoming same. We are getting the same voltage, so the efficiency remains same. Understand? So how to fill up the current? We will introduce one guard ring. Guard ring means a piece of metal. Piece of metal that will go through from there to the air. Actually, they will remain like that. So what will happen? What is the voltage here? Voltage here is V, right? Understand? What is the voltage here? V or less than V? Remember, here the voltage is 0. Here the voltage is V. Okay? So the more you go up, the voltage will be what? The voltage will be smaller. Here, the voltage is V or less than V?
Where, sir?
Here, at this point.
Less than V. Less than V, sir.
So what is the voltage here? Here the voltage is V, right? Because this is a metal.
V.
So there is a voltage difference. There is a voltage difference here, right?
Yes, yes.
So there will be a capacitance formed. A current will come up. How much current? Let's say equal to your I2. Equal to I2. Let's say equal to I2. Here, again, the voltage is less than V. Here the voltage is V, right? A current will form. How much current? Let's say equal to I1. So I1 is being lost. I1 is being filled up. I2 is lost. I2 is being filled up, right? Understand my point? Here I3 is not needed because here the voltage is V, here the voltage is V as well. Here the voltage is V as well. So no current will form. Only these two will be formed. This one, no capacitance will be formed. Why? Because here the voltage is V, here the voltage is V. In between the same voltage, there is no capacitance form. That's why no capacitance will form. Only these two will be filled up. Okay, that is enough because that will give our us a lot of efficiency. Okay, understand my point?
Yes.
Okay, this is called guard ring by using a guard ring. Now let's do a math of guard ring. Or actually, let's see a math. We do not have enough time to do a math. Okay, this is a guard ring math. 8.10. Remember, a guard ring math might come in your exam. The self-capacitance of each unit of the string efficiency of 3 insulator string is C. The shunt capacitance of the connecting the metal wire to each insulator to earth is 0.15 C. That means the value of K is 0.15. While for line, it is 0.1. For line, right? No, this is not the guard ring math. Yeah, this is the guard ring math. 8.11. Each line of 3-phase system is suspended by a string of 3 insulators, identical insulators, identical. That means no grading. And C farad, and the shunt capacitance is 0.2 C to earth and 0.1 to line. They calculate the string efficiency of the system if the guard ring increases the capacitance to the line to neutral work of the lowest insulator to 0.3. That means see this one here. Previously, this is 0.2, this is 0.2, this is 0.2. from this point to line. Line means what? You know your line is going like this, right? Your line is going like that. Understand?
Yes.
Now, this point to your R, that means tower, your capacitance is 0.2. This point to line, your capacitance is 0.1, right? This point to line, your capacitance is how much? 0.1. Okay, understand my point? So, like the way your metal pin to earth, a capacitance can be formed. Your pin to your line, a capacitance can be formed. A very small capacitance, but it can form. Now, if you use a guard ring, that will increase the lowest capacitance. Let's say this one, lowest capacitance will be increased. They only said the lowest capacitance will be increased, right? The lowest capacitance is increased to 0.3. So now it is no longer 0.1, it is 0.3 now. Okay? It is 0.3, like this, 0.3. The upper one is 0.1 still. The lower one become 0.3, not 0.1. Now what is your efficiency? Okay, calculate the string efficiency. So how to do that? You can apply KCL in this method. And you can self-explain it, or what should I say? Self-study this one. Okay? In the next class, you will tell me the problem if you have any problem with this example. At this point, you have to apply a KCL. At this point, you have to apply a KCL. So by doing that, you can actually find out the V1, V2, and V3. Understand? The previous method, like the previous method. This is your self-study, 8.11. You do it at your home. Remember, this type of math will come in your exam. Okay, my dear?
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
So I believe your class is actually done. I'm going to stop the share and stop the recording.